Hi, Stefan Swartling here. I've been using the Storytel and BookBeat book streaming services for a while now. So in this video I will compare them and talk about the differences and which service that is better than the other. Personally though, I think it's quite hard to decide which service I will pay for because both services has something that is good and something that is bad. For example, BookBeat costs 30 Swedish crowns less per month than Storytel. That is a big plus for BookBeat. And BookBeat also has a CarPlay app. Not maybe the best CarPlay app I have seen, but it has a CarPlay app. That is better than nothing. Storytel doesn't have a CarPlay app, so you have to use the built-in What's Playing Now app in CarPlay. And also BookBeat and Storytel has an Apple Watch app, both services, but the Storytel Apple Watch app is useless because you can't use it if you don't sync your books to the watch and only use the Apple Watch app. BookBeat's Apple Watch app you can stream directly from your iPhone and use some features on the Apple Watch itself instead, and that is what I mean with a real Apple Watch app that you can use with the content still on your iPhone and has some control on your Apple Watch. But BookBeat's Apple Watch app is not so good either, even if it's a real Apple Watch app. I think both companies need to look, for example, for Overcast podcast app or Castro podcast app and look how good their Apple Watch apps are. So both services need to have better Apple Watch apps and CarPlay apps. Overall though, I think the BookBeat app is better because it has a nice looking interface and you can do some settings easier and better on the BookBeat app than the Storytel app. For example, you can choose how much seconds you should skip forward or rewind a book. You can't do that on Storytel app because the Storytel app is locked at 15 seconds. And also in the BookBeat app you can much easier set the speed that you want the book to be read at. You just raise or lower a control with your thumb, for example. Much easier than setting the speed in the Storytel app. But the biggest plus for the Storytel service is that it has a lot more books to choose from. Especially for me that wants to listen to some English books. You have a lot more English books to choose from in the Storytel app. BookBeat has, for example, no Stephen King books as an example, but Storytel has a lot of Stephen King books. And that is just one example. Another example is that Robert McCammon, a really good author that I like, has some audiobooks in the Storytel app, but none in the BookBeat app. I contacted BookBeat here in Sweden and asked them why, and they say that they don't have a contract with the publishers for a lot of these authors. But if you only listen to Swedish books, for example, then I think BookBeat has enough of books, actually. Another huge plus for Storytel is the search engine. It's a lot better in Storytel than in BookBeat. You can find a lot more stuff easier with the Storytel service. And another plus for the Storytel service is that you have unlimited listening with the Storytel app. So you can listen to as many books you want every month. In the BookBeat app, you pay for how many hours you want to listen to. So for example, the cheapest option, 99 Swedish crowns, you can only listen to 20 hours. If you pay 149 Swedish crowns, you can listen to 100 hours and so on. So if you want unlimited listening with BookBeat, it's actually more expensive than Storytel. So for me that listen to a lot of books, I think maybe 100 hours or even unlimited with BookBeat is a must, but then again I can rather have Storytel with a lot more books to choose from. Another thing I think is great with the Storytel app is that you can see how many minutes are left with every chapter in a book. In the BookBeat app you can only see percent of the whole book and hours and minutes, of course. But with the Storytel app you can see how many minutes per chapter and how many hours and minutes of the whole book at the same time. And you can also see that it lower the length of the book when you raise the speed of the book with the Storytel app. With the BookBeat app it doesn't change the length of the book at all, even if you listen to the book faster. So basically if the book takes about 12 hours to listen to at one speed, then if you raise the speed to 1.3 or so, then you can see that the book's maybe just 7 or 8 hours instead in Storytel. But you can't do that in BookBeat. So for me now it's very important to have a big library of books to choose from. So for example now in September this year Stephen King will release a new book called Fairy Tale, and BookBeat has already answered me when I asked them that they will not have that book in their library. I haven't asked Storytel, but my hope is for Storytel to bring in Fairy Tale in their service. So I will now keep using Storytel and not BookBeat. So I have decided to use Storytel instead of BookBeat. Now after testing both services, I have decided for Storytel. Okay, bye.